And welcome to day 3, session 3 of this week 10. We are calling motivated sellers and following up with sellers and trying to get more deals. So far today, we have gotten probably 2 really good ones and another 2 potentials. And here's somebody calling. And so we are very much in the throes of all the deals that we are trying to put together. As I've been saying in every video lately, is if you are looking for some deals, if you want to partner up with me, with us, go ahead and comment below in this video. And I'm sure even if you watch this video 10 years from today, we're probably going to be doing a lot more deals. Listen, I am not stopping. This is a family legacy type thing for me. I'm not stopping from playing the game of cash flow in real life by Robert Kiyosaki. I first read that book. I want to challenge somebody who thinks that they've known about this strategy longer than that. But I read it in the year 2000. And that's when I was just a teenager at the time. And, I got into it. And I've been doing it since then. I've been focused on acquiring assets and not liabilities. Assets being things that put money in your pocket, whether you work or not. And that's what we're looking for. Looking for deals that put money in our pockets. We're not looking for wholesale deals. That's a timing the market. Timing the market. We got to have time in the market, not timing it, but having time in it. So that's what we're doing today. Again, we do this every video. We are looking for deals, and we want you to come along in this process, this journey. Because if you're looking for your first rental property, you're looking for your first cash flowing property, you're looking for to invest towards retirement. That's what we do here. We're not focused on flipping houses and wholesaling houses. It's just a byproduct to wholesale houses and to flip them and to do like a flip and sort of speculate. That is a byproduct, but it's not the focus. I don't know why people would build a business based on speculation. We don't do that. You shouldn't do that. I advise you strongly against speculating and trying to think what a house will sell for once it's listen, I once it's fixed up. But I have a lot of friends who were doing flips, and they're getting foreclosed on. So everything pretty much that they took money from this one and then from that one and then from that one and started buying more and flipping more and doing all the stuff. And so now they had like 7 flips going, and all their money was into all those flips because they weren't trying to borrow cash or hard money loans or anything like that. So they paid for everything for 7 houses or 8 houses. Not a big player. I mean, she's a real estate agent, and she got into flipping, and she was selling my houses when I was flipping. And she called me and she said, "Ben, I don't know what to do. I'm going to lose everything because I can't sell them for what I need to sell them for." I said, that's the danger of flipping houses. So no, our business model needs to be cash flow first. Nice shameless plug there. It's the name of my channel, Cash Flow First. That's our focus. Cash flow first. You know, appreciation is probably somewhere in the third or fourth item there, but cash flow first, then deductions, tax strategies, write-offs. So that's number two. Number three is going to be, you know, just long-term planning, estate planning, that type of thing. And if we get appreciation, we get appreciation. If we don't, we don't care, as long as we cash flow and fits within our tax strategy. So that's what we do here. Towards retirement. We're not investing here to retire early in like the next 20 minutes. Most gurus on YouTube will teach you how to retire in 20 minutes. We're not that smart. We don't do that in this channel. We don't teach those strategies. We teach the boring stuff, the get up early, go to bed early, get up early, go to work out, call, take phone calls, make phone calls, follow up, text messages, emails, write offers, follow up. People hang up on you, follow up some more, go spend time with the kids, you know, the boring stuff. That's what we do. It's just, we're boring people. This is cash flow first YouTube channel, the most boring channel in all of YouTube. Danger zone ahead. If you follow this journey, you will do a lot of deals over time. So none of this, this is we're doing a 1 year challenge, and just to see where we are in 1 year. And then after that year, we're going to be making other videos about a little bit more in depth with taxes and cash flow and buying more assets and getting rid of more liabilities, that type of thing. But you won't see us doing all this fancy stuff. Me and my family, I mean, wife, kids, and stuff. Eventually, I guess as my kids get older, you'll start seeing them. But this is a long-term play for us. This YouTube channel is to be here for forever. You know, we will always make videos and let you guys see what we do and how we do it and how we teach our kids. Our kids know the difference between a liability and an asset, you know, and that type of stuff. So if you want to see all that stuff, how to invest for retirement, how to teach your children to identify assets versus liabilities, and how to buy these assets and how to prospect for them. I mean, a lot of people teach you high level stuff, but you come to this channel and we're putting it into practice, making phone calls and doing all that type of stuff. So make sure you follow me, follow this channel, cash flow first, subscribe, like, share, comment, rewatch the videos, make phone calls alongside me, do the follow-up. The wealth is in the follow-up. Wealth is in the follow-up, not in anything else, not in fancy marketing strategies. The wealth is in the grinding things out the way they're supposed to be. Some automations, I agree, and everything else, but you have to do the work. You have to make the calls. That, you know, technology is not going to do that. I tried. Okay, let's make the calls now. Continuing on here, let's call. This is one from a while ago. Let's see. Okay, call. Not a seller. My phone is blowing up here. Okay. Somebody else. Okay. Okay, so Gary, again, as always, ARV here. He wants between 200 and 300,000. Our ARV here is 336. It needs rehab. Realtor.com price is 286. Redfin 371. So this looks like a really good deal. Needs a full rehab. Spoken to him before. Let's see if we can follow up and see if we can put things together. He indicated he doesn't want to sell until next year. So I'm just following up with him. I'm gonna see if I can get him to sell before. Gary. You've got to have those conversations. I mean, there's simply no way around it. You guys hear my kids out there fighting? Okay, no answer. Let me text him. Okay. Let me try him on different line. Okay. Follow up with him on his try to see if he will. He probably, hopefully, has me saved on the other line that I used previously. So let's see here. Let's see this.
Yes, hello.
Hey, hello, Gary. How are you? This is Ben.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, things could be better, but
Yeah.
to be truthful, that
Mhm.
Ben. So probably I talked to you about the house.
Yeah. We spoke a couple of weeks ago. I told you I was gonna go out there and kind of check out the situation. Remember that?
Yeah, I've had so many calls, but I'm pretty. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
So you did? You cruised by it?
Well, yeah. I try to see if I could go in and look through the windows, but it looks like somebody's living in there.
When did you go by? 2 days ago?
Yeah, I went when I talked to you a couple of weeks ago. Then I went last week, and I went by yesterday and then today.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm hoping nobody broke into the house, but yeah, I have a friend of the family is staying there. If you notice the RV, the motor,
Yeah.
it's sitting in the driveway.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he is staying in there.
Okay.
He's kind of provides security to watch my place, so.
Got it.
Yeah, he's not in the house because the house is still boarded up and all.
Mm-hmm.
Still, and has been 3 years ever since the incidents of thieves getting into my house and trashing the place.
Yeah. It was sad when you were telling me about that last time.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm still kind of on the back burner regarding that Judet house.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, we've been living since the Judet house became sort of unlivable,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get it back in order. We've been living in a duplex, renting a duplex for 3 years in North Highlands.
Okay.
And so we've gotten word from this landlord that he wants to sell the property, and so he gave us notice that we have to move out, and so we're in the process of at least temporarily finding another rental.
Gotcha.
So that's taken my time and energy.
Yeah. Sure.
Our move, we're having to move all of our stuff into a storage unit,
Mm-hmm.
at least temporarily.
Yeah. Wow.
So
you got a lot on your plate.
yeah, that's why. Anyway, all these guys call me, about the Judet house, and if I'm ready to sell it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's still not able to do that right at the moment, but it's hopefully looking like maybe the first of next year,
Mm-hmm.
or early spring.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Meantime, the real estate market is going down and down.
I know it. I know it. It is.
So,
Definitely is. Well,
and then inflation, everything's going up in price, and then the price to get a loan, the interest is up to 7%.
yeah. Yeah.
But still, I keep thinking, well, if somebody really wants the house, something about it, the property, the neighborhood, you know, big mortgage rate or not, they'll still, maybe, buy the house and then refinance the mortgage, at some later date because they really want to get the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that happen?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I really want the house. I'm willing to work with you, whatever timeline you have. And yeah, definitely. I mean, that house, it is probably going to be exactly what you said, which is, buy it, and then once the interest rates start to come back down, I estimate probably 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Go ahead and refinance it then. But yeah, it's that's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. The house is in really sad shape, but I guess it's got potential, as they say. Potential to fix it up, and then the size of the lot, for some reason, in that neighborhood right there, that Judette Street, the contractor who built those houses back in the early 70s or 60s, and you can see that some of the houses are identical, except maybe they just reversed the floor plan some, but you can see a bunch of them were built by the same contractor, kind of like tract houses.
Yeah.
But they put them on a huge piece of ground. A huge lot comes with the house, not just mine, but the other ones there next door.
Yeah. That was a good idea they had. Oh, I lost him.
Hello?
Hey, Gary, I don't know what happened. I lost you.
So I was rambling on and nobody was there.
Sorry, it somehow dropped.
That happens with my cell phone.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I was rambling. So talking about the size of the lot being so big, it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, I heard that, and was telling you that's it looks like it was a good idea. The developers did that.
Yeah, I don't know why. The way they laid out the property and the way they were going to build the houses, they just had a lot of space.
Yeah, definitely.
So what, you're in the business again of investing in properties and as-is properties and that sort of thing?
Yes and no. That business is very reliant in the market, so you don't just want to do that. So primarily what I try to do is I was in the military, and so when when I was in, I went through a lot of PTSD and everything else. I was deployed. And so what I try to do is buy a property, and I'm only buying maybe like 2 or 3 a year, maybe if that. And so, but what I try to do is buy it, fix it, and then work with the veteran administration office to it's kind of like a Section 8 type thing, to put a veteran in there so that they can go through rehab. And the monthly check, and it's not that much. They pay you pretty much at the bottom of what rents are in the area. But it's a service, it's a cause, and I remember what it was like, getting out of the military, and I was in the Middle East, and I went through, all the stuff that you hear about in the news, in the Middle East and so forth. But then to top it off, my father passed away while I was there. And so that was just, and my mom had already passed away. My grandparents had already passed away. I mean, it's like my dad was the last person that, in my family was alive. But then, yeah. And so I went through a lot of, I still have to talk to people, about that and that sort of thing. But what it did sort of open up my eyes to sort of whatever career I chose. I wanted to make a positive impact, people that need it. So that's primarily what I do.
It's a business. It's a business, but use it to also help people in need.
That's right. And so people come in, they live in the house. It goes for a good cause, and they rehab these veterans, So rehab the house and then rehab the veteran. So we're in the rehab business.
Yeah, I hear you. Here in town, you got some properties around town for the veterans.
Yeah.
I was in the Army myself back in the old days.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm an Army veteran, just drafted.
Oh, gotcha. How was your experience? How was your experience in the military? Did you ship out?
Yeah, I refer to it when people ask is best experience, maybe besides having my one son, is being in the military, and I'm so glad that I got drafted. I probably would have procrastinated, or probably never would have joined on my own. But with Vietnam, the draft was still going strong.
Yeah.
The war was just raging, and they kept sending more troops. So here comes a draft notice, and got in the Army basic training up in Fort Lewis, Washington. And anyway, it finally evolved, and I put in the unit I was in Kansas. I didn't want to stay there. It looks like we were military police, and it looked like we were just going to stay in Kansas, Fort Riley, for the duration of our draft, 2 years. So one of my buddies put in a 1049 request, airborne school, and I'll be darned, got accepted, and went through airborne and assigned to the 82nd.
Okay.
And so that experience was, I really proud. One of the things I could point to was with pride, but being airborne, I'm just really glad that I've had that experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I did it now, looking back on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at Fort Bragg. I didn't go to Vietnam though, but 82nd was just about the only unit left in the States that wasn't Vietnam. But there was like 500,000 or 600,000 troops, in Vietnam, but they still felt they needed, some more, and they tapped the 82nd for a few thousand, just one brigade, shipped out. And President Johnson, Lyndon Johnson, was the president who ordered that we needed more troops. And he actually came to Fort Bragg, and they had a ceremony, and he spoke. And here were the hundreds of troops there, and just send off the troop and wish them well, and all. He spoke. And
wow.
Then they were to fly to Vietnam, and one of our platoons went with the brigade. I just happened to not be in that platoon, or I would have went.
Wow.
There were four platoons in our company.
Yeah.
You know how it works, and
yeah,
they chose like the 4th platoon or something to go with the 4th brigade. So I was kind of excited about it. Kind of, I wish I would have went to Vietnam really with the guys for the experience, and I even requested that one of the officers, if there's a way I could still go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so I come close to going, but and then I only spent 2 years, as a draftee, and looking back, I think I should have extended and done another couple of years.
Yeah.
Jumping out of airplanes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wouldn't have met my wife probably, and I wouldn't have my son Simon.
Yeah.
If I would have been in the so there's that angle too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, when you're military, and I've had, and I'm sure you have too, had a lot of conversations with people that were in, and they got out, and then once you're out, then you feel like, man, I miss it, and then you go back in, but then when you're in, you're like, man, this is hard. This is just hard, and then you can't wait to get out. and then you go back and forth. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I went in.
You sort of look at it and sort of look at
yeah,
sort of glamorize it and look.
Yeah. I remember one of the officers. He was a lieutenant. I was in the Navy. I was out of Jacksonville. In our squadron had we were a helicopter squadron. So the one of the officers there was a pilot, and I used to when I first joined, they put me in charge of the glorious task of cleaning. I was in charge of cleaning the entire building. It was a brand new building in Jacksonville, Florida, and and so they saw that I was a hard worker, and they said, "Hey, you're gonna go and you're gonna be the head PO," And I'm like, okay, sounds good. And I had like 7 guys working for me. They didn't take it seriously, but I took it very seriously. I wanted to do a good job, and then they promoted me because, of course, as you know, that they try to see who's a leader, and so that was a little task. And then from there, I did very well with that job. But I remember every morning that the one of the pilots, the officers there, I would ask him every day, "How you doing, sir?" And he's like, living the dream every day."
I hear you. That's good.
Yeah.
That's how you work your way up.
Yeah, that's right. You work your way up.
Doing a good job, even if it's just sort of it's a menial task, like cleaning toilets or something.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to notice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we all kind of start out,
That's right.
As kids. Anyway, working hard is a good thing. But anyway,
yeah.
Do you happen to know? I'm trying to think of this guy that runs the real estate ad. I wrote his name down, and some kind of a genius real estate investor.
Hmm.
You know, one of these guys, and he puts on the seminars, and he's got his website. And he talks about his credentials, and I don't know if his name was. All I can think of is LeGrand.
Oh, okay, LeGrand. Ron LeGrand.
Something LeGrand.
Yeah. Ron
Does that
LeGrand.
ring a bell?
Yeah. Ron
Yeah.
Ron LeGrand. Yeah, that's his name. Older guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like I jotted it down, and that he's knowledgeable and just somebody to talk to about real estate issues and real estate problems. And
Yeah.
have that I've made a lot of them, and trying to get out of the situation I'm in now, and trying to find it. Like I told you, I need to find another property.
Yeah.
So I can sell this house and get into something else that's where I can have my car, pursue my collectible car, hobby.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm more than happy to aid you in that, and like just kind of come up with a little game plan to see how we can help you do that. The goal here is to make sure that there's a win-win on both ends, your end, my end, so that you're happy, and you don't feel like a regret, like kind of like we were just talking with the military. It's like want to make sure that there's that you walk away from the situation after having been fixed, and you feel good about it. So that's the goal here. Most people that call and so forth, they don't really take the time to like understand where somebody is, and I don't do that. I'm a hard worker. I've always been, and I take the time to make sure that I understand, what your goals are, and what as far as the property is concerned, and of course with the hobby that you have there with the cars and everything else. I remember that from our first conversation, so I'm very aware of that.
Anyway, it's good to treat the customer as best you can. Just that's a good business and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, maybe we'll just be in touch. But that's still in right now this crisis of having to move out by the end of November. It looks like we've got a new place to move to. So,
is it you and your wife, if I may ask?
My wife and I, and we're also taking care of my wife's sister, who's got health issues. She's a Down syndrome person, and so we're taking care. She lives with us. We take care of her. Plus, my wife, she's not in the best of health either.
Oh,
she's
man,
a walker. Anyway, so it's the three of us. So we have to consider where we move. Able to still take care of her sister, my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Which we've got the hospital bed, and we've got things to help us take care of her. Okay.
Oh.
Anyway.
You definitely got a lot on your plate there, Gary. It's you're a trooper for sure. Your military training. Yeah. Absolutely. Your military training really comes into play. It's amazing.
Yeah. One thing I like, you made me think of something about being in the military. I'm happy to say that I was a soldier in the United States Army.
Yeah. That's right.
Just that,
Mm-hmm.
being able to say that, and in
Yeah.
my case, I was an airborne soldier. It's something to be proud of. But
That's right.
We're talking to somebody else that had, he's not a veteran.
Yeah.
I don't know if you say you're a little bit, what the word is.
Mm-hmm.
You got a feather in your cap that non-military person doesn't quite have.
That's right. That's right.
And you're somebody, being in the Army and you in the Navy, you're really somebody special.
Yeah, that's right. You are.
But then when you get out, then you just sort of blend back in with the rest of the population.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, you're still special in your own mind, but nobody else really knows it. But you're not walking around in a uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
With your badges and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you're just wearing civilian clothes. So you're just kind of a regular person.
I know, but that's it.
That.
Yeah, that person's still in there. That person's still under those regular clothes. It is. I know exactly what you mean. Because once you hang up your uniform, put away your boots, and put away your ribbons and everything else, man, you still can close your eyes, and you can still see everything. You're still a soldier. In my case, I'm still a sailor, and
Right.
And then one of the things that we have is you have that camaraderie. When you meet somebody else, they understand you. They understand who you are. And it is a lot of pride. You should be very proud of yourself, and thank you for your service, Gary, because it is people like us that we are we're willing. Listen, one thing, and it sounds cliche a lot of times because people do say it, but it sounds cliche to say, thank you for your service. It sounds cliche to say that, but I'll tell you one thing. When I joined in 2009, and I remember, when I was in boot camp, and I've been always a hard worker. When I was in boot camp, they put me in charge. I was the yeoman in boot camp. And so I handled all the guys' paperwork, and I made sure that they got all their shots and all that good stuff, and I got all the letters, and I passed them out to everybody, and and the reason why is when I went in, they asked, who here has ran a business before? And I said, I have, because I was doing some online marketing, and I was running my agency and so forth. And they said, well, you come over here, we're going to put you in charge of the yeoman position. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I went, I did that. And I remember, going through the roll call and everything. And I remember this guy, his name was Brian Martin. Brian Martin, at the time I was in my 20s, but he was in his 30s. Just a real cool guy who, a single dad. And he was telling me, I'm in here because of my daughter, and I just want to make sure that I do right by her, but he was just full of life and vigor, and we went through boot camp together, and we went on to Pensacola. I was in the aircraft side of the Navy, and so I was an aircraft mechanic, and so he also.
In Florida.
Yeah, in Florida. Yeah, and so we went there in the spring, and you had the Blue Angels. They were training. It was just amazing. It was very cool. I mean, yeah, just like you could just feel them, just flying like right above you. It was just incredible. The whole time I was there, the Blue Angels were there, and so we we had been, we had been training so hard. And so I remember just going out into town with Martin, and he was, we snuck out one day out of the barracks, and we didn't get caught. He said, just really nice guy. And he went on to his own squadron, and I went to mine. I think he went to California's, what was it? I can't remember, somewhere in northern base. I can't remember, but I moved to Florida. That was my base. And so we were in touch, good buds, everything, you know, like my best friend, you know, and
Yeah.
about 2 years into the Navy, you know, we were connected through Facebook, and he used to chat with me on Facebook. Hey, bud, how you doing? I'm doing good, you know, and he went on deployment and blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, stay in touch. And then I never heard back from him. And so I kept messaging him, and I'm like, Brian, what's going on, bro? I haven't heard from you. And so I just thought he was in deployment. He was going to be gone for a year and so forth. And then it just really bothered me that I wouldn't hear back from him. And then I decided to do a little digging, and it turns out he passed away. He got killed, you know, in deployment. And man, I just wanted to cry. And I'm like, here's my buddy, you know, like
that hurts. And it's a sad story.
It hurts. It hurts. His little daughter, you know, she was young, man. And he
killed where was it?
I think he was on a carrier. I think there was an accident. I think there was an accident.
Training accident.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was an accident, and he died. Yeah. There was another girl I had been in for 3 years, and she was just an African-American girl, very nice. She was I was a petty officer, and she was just an E1 when she came in, and they pulled her out of my division and put her to watch a hangar. It was a restricted hangar. About 2 years later, maybe a year and a half later, she was in the hospital, and she was going through chemo and everything else. And come to find out that she was in charge of patrolling a hangar that had nuclear weapons and things like that. And so we were thinking, chatting, maybe she got some radiation in her body and stuff. And so you don't think about things like that. So I say all of that, Gary, to say, you know, we see it as a cliche sometimes. Thank you for your service, this and that. But I have buddies, I have friends that they were right next to me that died as a result of joining the military. That's what they did. They joined the military and they died, and they died for their country. And, you know, it's that could have been you, could have been us.
Yeah. And they chose that as volunteers to join the military.
That's right. That's right.
Which, they did it knowing the risk that, things happen when you're in the military, like wars.
That's right. That's right. It just happens.
I'm so glad. Going back to the airborne, my buddy there at Fort Riley, Kansas, that I hung out with, Jeff Anderson. He and I hung out, and we started talking like we can't continue staying here in this Kansas, and it was sort of his idea, and he started talking it up. Let's volunteer to get out of here, and that's when we put in the paperwork. So I think about him. I've attempted to look him up and find him, on the Find Your Buddies websites that you have on the internet. But I still haven't. We're all way up in years now, but I hope to be still living it. Thank you for, talking us into going to airborne school. Turned out he didn't go through it with me. He apparently had another volunteer paperwork that he was requesting to go to Vietnam with some unit, and his paperwork came down. I think he went to Vietnam, and I went off to jump school, as I recall. So,
wow,
I went through it more or less by myself without him with me. But like I say, it's the best thing.
That's right.
That ever happened.
Yeah. You should be very, very proud, Gary. We have that background.
I was interested. I was going to ask if you served on an aircraft carrier.
I did not. I did not go on a carrier.
Your buddy did,
Yeah, my buddy did. When I was working with the helicopters, my job, and that is one thing, you know, that I guess it's a double-edged sword when, you know, just having the background that I had when I went in. I was a business owner before. And so I understood people. I understood, you know, how to manage certain things. And so they always kept me back in the office. they would see me and they're like, no, you have skills to manage things from the office. And so I never got to go on the carrier. Then from there, I went to the P3s, a P3 squadron, which is a surveillance aircraft, really big, does not fit on a carrier. And so that was land-based. But that's when I got deployed. I went to the Middle East. I went to Bahrain. And so, but they can be loaded up with weapons and stuff. So I was there while the troops. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
I said, yeah, you were part of that aircraft crew.
Yeah. Right.
That particular plane.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so, yeah, there was a lot of death, a lot of things that went on, and you know, we were working 21-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And I remember
pretty much as much as you can work.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you went to the recent air out Mather.
I didn't. I did not go. I've been.
Yeah, I didn't go either, but they have it every year, annual.
Yeah.
I've gone to air shows when I worked here at McClellan Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I was working there, they would always, have their air shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway. It's always cool to go. It's always cool to go and to remember and to feel.
Yeah.
You know, that you're a part of the community. That's the thing, is we're a part of the community. We're all a part. We know what it's like. We went through the same indoctrination, to serve the country and to, hey, you could die. Sign here. We got to know what's going to happen to you, to your body, whenever, if something happens, sign that dotted line. I remember when they gave me that paperwork in boot camp, who do we contact in case something happens to you? I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what do we do?
What am I getting into?
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Am I sure I want to go
That's
through
right.
this?
That's right. And a lot of guys, there were like 3 guys that ran out of the room. They're like, I don't want to sign that. I didn't, it got real for them at that moment. And they said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
That's interesting. Well, at least they didn't sugarcoat it,
That's right. They didn't.
They told what to expect, and so make sure you are knowing what you want to do and have your thinking straight. Yeah. Anyway, I can press on and maybe just keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely.
And thanks for the memories.
You got it, Gary. You got it. It's always good to reminisce and stuff. And what was your title when you got out? What was your rankings?
Yeah, just Spec 4. They called it
Spec 4.
Specialist. Specialist 4th class.
Yeah. Wow. So
I didn't have the sort of equal to a sergeant, but you don't have the stripes.
Gotcha.
To order people around you. They have. I don't know if the Army still has that.
Yeah, they do.
So, yeah, Spec 4.
Spec 4, yeah. But, well, yeah,
private
definitely.
First class,
private first. Goes up to so you were a private first class?
Well, I was just thinking about the ranks when he started out. He started out private first class, and then I forget what the next one is, the third. And then the specialist, anyway.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Okay, Gary.
So
well,
thanks for the memories, Dan, and we'll maybe talk again.
Yeah, definitely. I'll check on you. See how that move is going. I know you have to move out by the last of the month here, so I'll check on you. You. You got it, Gary. You have a good day. And anytime you want to call, you want to chat, you want to reminisce, you give me a call. This is my cell right here. You keep my number.
Okay.
You just let me know. All right. I'm here for you.
Okay. Catch you later.
You got it, Gary. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Every bit in that story is true. Every bit in that conversation. I'm not even sure that I want to release this video, but it's a lot of military stuff. I'm not sure, but if I do release it, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you get to see, that people are just people. And you just have to get to know them. People buy, and here's sorry about that. That was another seller. But every bit in that conversation is true. So yeah, that's quite a nice conversation, and there's so much in that call. It's not a script. You cannot have a script, and that's the reason why. Because it will not work. If you have a script, it won't work. The only things that I try to pay attention to is to make sure that when somebody asks me what I'm going to do with the property, which is what he did ask, is I just tell them the truth. I just tell them who I am. So speaking with people is about connecting people to people. Marketing and sales is all about people connecting with people. So you got to find a connection. You have to find common ground. And I am so privileged that I was able to serve in the US military, because that is very common ground for a lot of people, not only because they served or because somebody in their circle, their family served, and they have a deep memory about it. So if you are a veteran, comment below, because you're my friend, you're my brother, you're my sister. We share the same blood. All of us do. And every bit in that story, I don't know if you saw me getting emotional when I was talking about Brian Martin. But he was my buddy, and he lost his life in the service of his country. And I don't take that lightly, because whatever you may think politically, most of us that go in, we don't know what's going on politically. We just know that we just want to go in and volunteer. And if we die, we die. And we just know that if we die, it was in the service of our country. We know that whether the country is good or bad, we don't know. We just know that if we go in, we will preserve freedom. That's all we understand. And I don't think we need to understand anything else. So, yeah, some of us will say, It's amazing to get the GI Bill and get my college tuition paid for. It's part of the military plan to make sure that they advertise to people, part of the recruitment phase in the DoD, that to make sure that they lure people in by promising them that they will pay for their college. And we earn that, every bit of it. So it's nothing that we're getting for free. It's not free tuition for us. We really pay for it. And yeah, you can get 20-hour days, 21-hour days like I did, like we did with those guys. And I gotta know, I'm telling you, I'm not bragging. There's so many people that were so much better sailors than I was. Much better, much more dedicated. There's fantastic people in the US military, unbelievable commitment and work ethic. I mean, if you ever come across a military person that you want to hire them, hire veterans, hire military people, because they are the top of the top, the creme de la creme, and treat them correctly. So if you want to partner with me, that's why maybe I work too much at it. Who knows? I'm used to it. But it was a pleasure. It was an honor that the country allowed me. I don't think it's me. I think it's the country allowed me the privilege to put my life on the line on behalf of Americans. So if you're an American out there, thank you for allowing me to serve. It's not the other way around. So thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of the US military. It's a deep bond, everybody that served, but the people of America are the people who paid our salaries, paid my college education. It's you guys that made that possible. And so it's a win-win, win for you guys, a win for us. So thank you for all of you guys that make that happen. Anyway, so it was a nice call, and it was made possible because of, he's not going to forget that conversation. That's the one thing I wanted to point out. What did he say at the end of the conversation? Thank you for the nice memories. That's when you know that you made a bond connection like that with a settler. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You just got to figure out who they are. And that's the hardest part. But people love talking about themselves. I do. You do too. So don't even play with me. So anyway, one call, one great conversation. We're going to leave it right there. Boom. That's how you do it. That's how you get on the phone and talk to people like people. And then you'll have a lot of success. I'm still trying to figure out how to get cussed out on the phone, because I don't know how to get cussed out on the phone. I mean, people don't get mad at me. People open up to me. And so whatever I can teach you how to do that, then I'm here to help you out. Thank you. And until next time, subscribe. If you like this video, if you like Gary, listen, forget about the video. If you like Gary, and if you like the military, and if you like how we had a conversation from one, service member to another, like this video and subscribe. All right. Peace out. Talk to you later. See you next time. And God bless America. Thanks.